Ladies and gentlemen, the Bro Plata is here, episode 10. And what an episode we have for you today. We have none other than the YouTube sensation, a man who's been seen by millions upon billions of human beings and has given them the greatest martial arts instruction that anybody can give out. He has a book called The Tao of Master Ken that is available on Amazon.com. And you can check out his YouTube. There's the book. It's lovely. Get that book, you savages. You need that book in your life. You've also seen him on Enter the Dojo on his YouTube channel, Enter the Dojo Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Ken. Master Ken, thank you for coming to the Bro Plata. We appreciate you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to ask a question. I've known about you from the martial arts circles that I am in here in Cleveland, and also a lot of the Facebook groups will share out your videos. And I've been binge watching for this episode. I've been catching up on everything. And I have to ask, since I've started really getting hardcore into my training of Ameridote, I've noticed that my beard that is usually on this show has started falling out and formed this glorious mustache. I consider it glorious, at least. Is that a side effect of the awesomeness that is Ameridote?
Yeah, it is. It's sort of, you know, I'm apparently, from what I've heard, I am what is called nowadays toxically masculine.
Oh, that's a shame.
That's when your masculinity is so high that it's actually dangerous to other people. Just my existence, my T levels are unmeasurable.
How do you cope with this, sir? How do you cope with your disease that you have, this toxic masculinity?
I mean, it's not bad for me. It's just tough on everybody else, you know? Because I can't even tell people what level my T levels are at. I got a measuring stick and I couldn't even figure out how to measure it properly. So I feel like the thing that happens is that the testosterone goes through the internet and gets into your face because that's what you're using to watch. You're watching with your face.
Yes, sir.
Same thing would happen to other parts of your body if you were to watch with your shin. Next thing you know, you'd have mustaches on your shins.
And that's, I know some people that would definitely be into that. I believe also my co-host, Tim Danko, would love to grow a mustache.
A shin mustache?
Yeah,
well,
shin mustache.
I was going to ask this about the mustache. Does a mustache just make you better at martial arts altogether? Because I have a beard. So if I would automatically just, you know, if I shaved the beard into the mustache, would I be better at martial arts right off the rip?
Yeah, it's sort of like it's just a way to focus it. Like facial hair in general is a tactical advantage, right? But it's sort of like closing into a focused kind of like a barrel, like a gun barrel, right? You know, if you were to shoot a tiny bullet out of a big gun barrel, it'd sort of bounce all around inside on its way out. But if you get the right size barrel, then the bullet's going to go straight. So you're Ameridote, if you're studying Ameridote, and you can focus it all right out of the mustache. Because right now it's just sort of doing this.
Yeah, it's all over the place, yeah.
It's like birdshot.
It is.
You know,
yeah.
Now you're shooting
It's a good way to put it.
In birdshot. It's going to hurt. It's still going to hurt somebody, but it might not kill them.
Well, that's always good, though. That's a good thing, in my opinion, yeah?
It depends on the fight, Ray. You know, sometimes you have to get things done. You know, sometimes you have to go to the extra level.
I agree.
Yeah, as far as that, I just have to repeat what my lawyer says in those situations, which is generally he likes to remind me that dead men don't sue.
Okay. It's a good lawyer. I like this guy.
That's a very fantastic guy. I should get in touch with him so he can start our LLC. I think I want to ask you this. You're in Albuquerque, or you're in New Mexico, yes?
Albuquerque, New Mexico, yes.
So how has your, in this most trying of times, how has your dojo been doing and your students been with the lockdown and all of that? I see you and Todd still doing things. How is Ameridote New Mexico doing right now with the pandemic?
Well, I've had to switch to a lot of virtual teaching.
Yes.
For a variety, we have lockdown orders, and which that doesn't bother me, except that, nowadays the world is full of snitches.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I
Bunch
mean,
of bunch of narcs running around.
a man cannot practice martial arts. I think that's a freedom of choice right there. Keep the dojos open, and as long as nobody is dying, we're fine. Yes?
I even say if people are dying, I mean, that probably means we're doing something right. And I don't have a problem. I mean, if you think about it, historically, the martial arts has been illegal many times historically. So even that don't bother me. I just don't want to be hassled. I don't want any government officials showing up and trying to shut me down.
For sure, sir.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of virtual instruction, teaching over the internets, over the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, things like that, doing a lot of virtual instruction just to avoid being hassled.
And I don't blame you, but the content you're putting out right now is amazing and very informational. And Tim has a question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Master Ken, I just wanted you to, if you could explain, please, for listeners who aren't fortunate enough to know about your martial art, could you tell them a little bit about Maradote and why it's different than other martial arts and why it's superior, sir?
Absolutely. So Maradote takes the best parts of every other martial art in the world with none of the weaknesses. That's why I like to say best of all, worst of none. And essentially, it is the most dangerous style in the world. We're not a sport. Okay, that's an important distinction.
Okay.
You can't play a Maradote. You can only kill or die a Maradote. Okay, so you're either the one killing or the one dying. So it's kind of like if base jumping was even more dangerous. That's the closest I can come to it. Right now I think there's a 25% chance that anybody who base jumps dies. So if you were to dial that up to at least, I'd say a 50-50, because in every fight, there's two fighters or more. But really, there's, in my fights, there's a Maradote and then everybody else. So there's a 50-50 chance that there's going to be death.
That seems dangerous, man. Have you lost a lot of students because of this?
Not a ton.
Not a ton.
That's a good thing. What age did you develop a Maradote? Because your style is so just crisp. What age did you get? What age did you create a Maradote?
Well, I mean, to a certain degree, I was born with it.
Yeah.
I was born with the instinct, with that killer instinct. When I was born, the doctor tried to slap my bottom and I broke his wrist.
Oh.
So I had that killer instinct, but I needed it developed and honed. So I went around to different dojos trying to find a way to harness my incredible talent. And, so I tried karate and thought, oh, that's bullshit. And then tried kung fu. I was like, that's even more bullshit. Tried aikido. It's like, I can't even believe how much bullshit is in aikido. But I occasionally would learn something, say, well, okay, I can take that wrist lock. I don't think that wrist lock is good the way they're doing it. Instead of just, locking up their wrist, I'm going to break their hand off and shove it up their rear end. I would take the moves that almost worked and then improve upon them and make them my own.
And you've created some very, very powerful moves over the years. What would your top, I would say, let's give top 3 moves you would say are your favorite that you have created from all of these martial arts?
I would say that if I had to go with top 3, it would probably be the thrust of freedom.
Yes.
The hurricane.
Yes.
And the kill face.
The kill face is my favorite, sir.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I've seen you at the Martial Arts Super Show on YouTube, the videos of you practicing said move. And for the safety of our listeners, obviously we cannot allow, because I know how dangerous it is for sure, because I've seen it in practice, in real life, on videotape.
Yeah.
But we actually would like, if you would like us, we've been practicing our kill faces, and they're still
Hours a day.
mines are still kind of weak. Tim, he's only been practicing maybe about 3 hours, so his is definitely.
I'm confident though. I'm confident in it.
But let's see what Master Ken think. If you don't mind, we'd like to show you our kill faces. If you don't.
Yeah, let me give you a target.
All right, I like it. We get a target. This is amazing. Yes,
Bob.
I love it. Here we go. Tim, I will put this is our dummy for our exercise. Tim, I will put on you. Are you ready? It will go in 3 seconds.
All right, let's do it. I'm pumped.
2, 3. He moved.
That's okay. That's not bad. You moved him a little bit. There was a little bit of movement there.
I'll take it.
All righty. Now I will show my kill face. And 3, 2, 1. Moved him a little.
There was a little bit more movement. That was a little bit more.
I appreciate that,
oh,
sir.
Oh man, Bray beat me. I'm not going to be able to handle it. Ah, damn it.
It's just because you didn't practice as much. You said you only practiced for a few hours, and it sounds like there was less practice. So if you practice more, you're going to be able to move them.
That's true. That makes sense.
So start working, son.
Yeah, start working. And if you practice for years and years like I have, eventually you just get to the point where you just...
Oh, geez.
Oh, he moved.
Man,
he moved even across the room.
Man, even for a little bit from the side, man, it hurt my eyes. Whoa, that is powerful stuff.
What was that, Master Ken? Got to be careful.
When you're, whenever, because anytime you're looking in the direction of the kill face, you're in the blast radius.
And that is never a good thing. I want to ask you about something from Enter the Dojo. Anybody that has never watched that show, you need to go see it. There was the big storyline, obviously, is your former protege, Billy. Billy Dote was born out of this. Granted, it is a bastardized version of what the greatness of Ameridote would be. You gave him his black belt at the end of the show. And I've wondered, because he isn't in any of the videos, he isn't in any of things after Enter the Dojo season 4. Can you give an update on Billy? Because I'm concerned, because we all know, he was a little bit of a loose cannon. And I think an update on Billy, since he hasn't really been on anything else. What's Billy been doing?
Yeah, Billy actually did go out and start his own school. And he's been kind of working on that. I gave him my blessing once he was the only official Ameridote black belt. I did give him my permission as long as he paid me a franchise fee, which he has to pay me regardless of his enrollment.
Good.
So whether he has students or not is not my problem. He's just got to pay the rent,
Do you have any other franchises besides Billy's, and is it the same kind of contract?
No, it's a handshake agreement, or I guess a groin grab agreement, and he is the only current franchise because he's the only one. I wouldn't let anybody below black belt level in Ameridote open their own school, and it took Billy over a decade to get there. So somebody has got to be able to stay training with me long enough to get to that level.
Yeah. Well, how long? Usually in a Ameridote, what is the length of time training wise until you? Obviously, they have to do the dance of death. They have to make sure or do their own thing because of the fact Ameridote is that dangerous. For those that don't know, actually, explain the dance of death first, or the belt system. How many months usually do you give before you re-up somebody? And then how long do you say would you go for the dance of death?
Well, I'm not a McDojo, so there's not a required amount of months. It's based on skill.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if somebody comes in and they're very skilled and they know what they're doing, and they work really hard, then they could probably get through several of the belts a few years at a time.
I like it.
Yeah. And then if somebody sucks at it, but they still want to take classes and their checks clear, I'll let them study with me for their whole lives. They may only become an orange belt, but I can't advance people based on how much time or money they've spent, only on their skill level.
Okay.
So, for instance, if I had somebody come in and train with no arms, they can't do a tiger claw,
No,
at least
sir.
not a proper one, unless they learn how to do that with their feet. And if they learn how to do that with their feet, that may take them several years.
Yes.
But there are certain techniques they're just never going to be able to do. So I can't advance them, but I will take their money.
Explain the dance of death if nobody, because a lot of people who watch the show know that's where the big test that a lot of your students have to go through.
Yeah.
How would you describe the dance of death?
Dance of death is basically a weaponized version of what most martial arts refer to as a kata, or a form. You see people doing lots of, this kind of standing still bullshit where they're doing blocks and punches in a very regimented and linear form. Or if they do that wushu stuff, they look like they're breakdancing. But the thing that's always missing is the intention. Okay, what you're pretending to do is kill attackers who are attacking you. So that's the difference in the dance of death, is that you must act out how you would kill someone in a self-defense scenario.
I love I'm a big fan of what you do, sir, because you're doing a service to so many people. And I love the fact that you have taught people how to defend themselves in this way. I want to ask about another student of yours who you don't see much anymore. I wish we could, and that would be Cynthia. Cynthia I considered her the cutest one of the bunch, to be honest, besides yourself, obviously, sir. But it's one of those things where what has happened to Cynthia since Enter the Dojo is on. Would you say hiatus? How's she been ever since season 4?
Well, she went to help Billy open his new school, and I believe that she also got promoted at the Ribbon and Bow Barn that she worked at.
Yes.
So between her being upper management and also having to take time to, she decided to crochet all of the belts that Billy gives out.
Excellent.
Yeah, which is apparently quite time consuming. So she spends most of her time doing that. So I haven't heard from her as much.
Okay. And what about like Rachel? Rachel, obviously, or no, I wanted to ask about Cynthia and Billy. There was obvious tension between them through the entire show. Physically, definitely Cynthia, you could tell, had some feelings. Did you ever notice that while you guys were taping the show?
No.
See, Master Ken's focused on Master Ken, Ray. Why don't you ask us some questions about Master Ken? I have one.
Okay.
I have one. Here we go. Master Ken, sir. In this time of the pandemic, everyone has to wear their mask, correct? Have you figured out any way to, in a street fight, to maybe use your mask as a weapon to help you, or maybe use someone else's mask against them?
Yeah, sure. Let me demonstrate a couple of them.
Okay.
Ooh, we get demonstrations on the Bro Plata. I like it. This is awesome.
Gotta grab a mask.
Okay. So amazed. This is great. Master Ken on the Bro Plata show. This has been such a fun time, man.
This guy's awesome.
He is the greatest martial artist to ever live, and you need to go check out Enter the Dojo show. We're going to plug that. The Tao of Master Ken as well. Make sure you check that out. Available on Amazon.com. He has had the mask, ladies and gentlemen, and we are about to get a rare demonstration from the great Master Ken of how to defend a mask. So I will say, close your mouths, ladies and gentlemen, and open your ears to the greatness.
Yeah, so I don't wear a mask because I've never been sick in my life, and I'm already dangerous.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm suddenly more of a threat to people. I've always been a threat to people, so I'm not just going to suddenly start wearing a mask because of it. But people around you are going to be, mask wearers. And one of my biggest problems with that is it's now very difficult to distinguish who is a ninja.
Yes.
Solid
It
point.
used to be easy. You just used to look over and see someone wearing a mask and go, ninja.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have to treat everybody who wears a mask as if they're a ninja.
I like it.
Meaning you have to see everybody who wears a mask as a threat.
Okay. Which
Okay.
I already do. That's a normal day
sense
thing
to me.
for me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So there's a few things you can do with a mask. If they have it on properly and they have the elastic type bands, you can just sort of pull it down and then snap it right on their face.
It's good.
I like it.
That'll hit the nose and make their eyes water a little bit, right? You can also just sort of pull it up over the eyes. Okay.
Now he's
Right.
fighting blind. Yes. That's
Exactly.
never a good situation.
So you'd want to, someone comes up and they're aggressive in whatever way, and you say, "Oh yes, I'm very interested in what you're talking about," and then you just go like this, and then okay. So
That's
use that moment when they can't see, unless they have a transparent mask.
Yes. If they have one of
There
those
are
things on the
some-
strings, the shields.
I am seeing some transparent masks. So if they have transparent masks, you got to do something else. But if they have something you can't see through, that's a good technique.
I like it. What do you think about the masks that look like almost face shields, where they don't they rest on the chin? Do you find that could be a possible great way to harm somebody wearing those? Is just immediately go right for the part resting on the chin? Because I've seen those in some food workers and stuff like that wear that kind of thing, where it is just a piece of plastic and then like a plastic half circle off of their chin. Would you go right for that? Because I've thought about that a few times.
Yeah, especially if it's a hard plastic, because then you can use that. You can cut somebody with that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I like about that. You just sort of take the plastic out and then, gouge. Do some gouging. That reminds me, there is another advantage to the mask. Let me grab a knife.
All right.
Oh, here we go. We're getting knife instructions from Master Ken now. This is awesome, man. We are lucky dudes here.
I can't believe this is like going to Disney World and seeing all the rides at once. This is amazing.
It's true.
Right.
He has the knife.
So
there it is.
say you got a knife and someone comes up. One of the advantages of the mask situation is you can use it in conjunction with a knife, right? Again, I would go with the blocking the vision first, okay?
Yes,
then, because they've been threatening you in some manner, you take the blade here and you insert it into the throat, okay?
Yes, sir.
Gouging, slicing, cutting across if you want. And then you can take the mask and put that over the wound to keep the blood from spraying on you.
That's a good.
Wow, that is genius. That is genius.
That's gonna spray.
Yeah.
Right.
And you don't want to look like the ending of Resident Evil. That's never a good thing.
No. And so once they'll bleed out. They'll just fall over. And at that point you've got a mask for yourself. So you just sort of just shake the blood off and then you can just put it, if you want to. You just wear your bloody mask home.
And then you're ready for the day. You're fine to go. No
Is
fines for you.
Is that why you wear the red gi, Mr. Ken? Master Ken, excuse me. Is that what you do with the red gi? Because there's a lot of blood, right? And maybe the blood doesn't show up on the red gi.
Yeah, this used to be a white gi.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just years and years of them having just people's DNA all over it. Just that. Do you
I like to say that I dyed it red because a lot of people had to dye it.
I have to ask, you've been on the cover of Black Belt magazine. When you got the cover of such a great magazine to begin with, was that, how much of an honor was that for you to get the cover of Black Belt magazine?
Well, I felt like I was honoring them. I mean, I had a free weekend, and they'd been trying to get me on there for a while. So I figured I'd do them a favor and get them some press, you know, get them some circulation.
Absolutely. What's you've done many speaking engagements, obviously the Martial Arts Super Show I mentioned earlier. What's been your favorite shows or massive trade shows to be a part of? What is some of the trade shows you've loved to have done and done demonstrations with?
Yeah, Super Show's a good one. That's always a good sized audience, because I like to get my message out to as many people as possible.
Yes.
And try to. And I'm always, I'm also always putting schools out of business, which I like.
Yeah.
Because school owners see me demonstrate a Meridota and they're like, "What am I even doing with my life? I can't compete with this," and then they'll just quit. I like that, but I also like traveling around the world. I've done some good shows. Did a good show for Jesse Enkamp, Karate by Jesse.
Yeah.
For his Karate Nerd experience a few years back. That was a good crowd and a good experience. Yeah, I've had a lot of them. I've put on a lot of good demonstrations around the world, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. Had to put all that on hold due to the current circumstances, but once things get figured out, I'll definitely be back doing that.
Absolutely.
Master Ken, I saw a video on YouTube besides your fantastic instructional videos. You tried out for America's Got Talent a few years ago, right? And it didn't go so hot. What happened there?
Well, I didn't expect them to understand my brilliance, but I didn't expect them to be threatened by it either. I don't think that Howie Mandel liked the fact that I let him know Taekwondo is bullshit. I think that kind of hurt his feelings a little bit. And I think Heidi Klum was kind of threatened by my testosterone. I think she was thrown off by the incredible masculinity that was presented, because she buzzed me out within like 9 seconds. And but I could see her kind of, fanning herself, kind of flustered at seeing the incredible strength that was presented to her. So.
Do you think Seal texted her and was jealous, and that's why she acted that way?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, which is a shame, because who doesn't like the song "Kiss from a Rose"?
It's amazing.
Everyone likes that song.
Yeah, that's a good song to stretch to. Sometimes I'll stretch out, my gluteus maximus while I'm listening to "Kiss from a Rose" just to warm up or cool down.
Anything from a Joel Schumacher film, for sure.
Batman. For everybody knows that Val Kilmer was the best Batman, so it's a very strange thing to meet your heroes. When you meet your heroes, it can be very disappointing.
Master Ken, I love you, man. You are on my side with this. We had this conversation 2 days ago. Val Kilmer is without a doubt the best Batman. Ray gives him shit. Thank you, sir. I win. Yeah. I win, Ray. Master
I like
Ken's on my
Michael
side.
Keaton.
I win.
I've always been a fan of the Michael Keaton Batman more than I have.
Tell Master Ken
I can understand why you would feel that way, but then I think about that time that Michael Keaton played Doc Holliday, and I think, wait, no, he didn't.
That is a very good point, sir. That is a super good point. Oh, I've totally lost. What was the other Seal song? Oh, Crazy is a good one. I liked Crazy because also a band. I don't know if you're a metal fan, heavy metal fan, but I'm a big fan of the band Mushroom Head. They're from the Cleveland area, and one of my favorite songs they did was a cover of Crazy. I thought it was a fantastic cover. I don't know if you've ever heard it before, sir.
I mean, I'm not unfamiliar with heavy metal. I have some steel and some copper out back that I sometimes use for various things around the house. And, and people send me knives that are sometimes quite heavy. So.
Do you get, you obviously do get fans sending you things as gifts, I assume. What's one of your favorite gifts you ever received from a fan? It can be anything from a letter to a knife, even swords. What kind of stuff does a Master Ken receive in fan mail?
Well, I'm looking right at one. Let me grab it.
Oh, I like it.
This is gonna be good, man. Just letting us in on the inside stuff, man.
I love being inside the Ameridote gym. This has been
Hey,
one of
why
our.
did you have to ask him about Mushroom Head? That has nothing to do with Master Ken or what he does.
Oh
Mushroom
my!
Head.
Look at
What is
that.
that?
That is an awesome Master Ken doll. That is so sweet. Somebody handmade you that?
Somebody made me a piñata of myself.
Oh
And,
my God.
I couldn't bring myself to beat it. So I decided to preserve it because who doesn't want a piñata likeness of themselves?
Absolutely, no one wouldn't. That's amazing.
What do you put in a Master Ken piñata? Like instead of candy, do you put like, I don't know, like TRT pills or something? Like testosterone or some sort of supplements?
He has stuff, Tim.
No, he does?
There is some stuff in there.
Okay.
Looks like, what is it?
Ah,
Like little toy
toy ninjas.
toy ninjas.
Here you go.
That's
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so you got some action figures within the action figure.
Yeah, would you ever make an action figure? I'm a big professional wrestling fan, and there's also MMA action figures out there. I haven't seen a Master Ken action figure. I did, on the other hand, on Swag, there was only one made of, sadly, was Stomp Scotch. I loved this. I loved the Stomp Scotch. But would you ever make a Master Ken action figure?
Yeah, we looked into it. In fact, at the there was a firearms show. Trying to remember the name of it. It was in Canada, and they had one of those machines that scans you.
Yeah.
All the way 3D scan, and they sent us an example of what the figure would look like, and then they wanted like I think like $300 for to print it for it to be like 3 inches tall. And
what?
Yeah, for $300 for 3 inches, that doesn't sell in most markets. That's that seemed like an unfair price across the board. So as soon as somebody comes to me with something, some sort of fair price, then I would definitely jump on that. But the other thing is you got to produce like, you got to go, I did look into it. You got to go about $30,000 in.
Yeah.
To make sure you have enough of them to sell at the right profit. And then there's the fact that once you make little likenesses of me, it's going to scare people.
Absolutely. But it will also, luckily, you could use that as a self-defense in your own right, I think. Just put
that could be like the new Scarecrow.
Or you could have Elf on a Shelf. You could be the new Elf on a Shelf for bad kids. The parents just put it on the TV, and when they talk bad, think about it. Master Ken on the TV, he'll come and kick you in the head and then re-stomp.
You got a Ken in the Den, something like that.
Ken in the Den.
Yeah, see? Ken in the Den. Or you could we could also we could have them have a little hole in it. We could make little erasers and have them Ken on a pen.
I like it.
There's a bunch of different ways you can go with it. But yeah, I'm open to it.
I love it, sir. You have been, we're gonna cut this short. We would love to have you on, again. And I have one final question for you. We'll do another top 3 for this one, and from 3 would be ultimate bullshit. And number 1 would be, or number 3 would be less bullshit and something you would recommend your students use to kind of heighten their Ameridote skills. Okay. And number 1, obviously, is just complete bullshit. And why, if I may ask?
So you're talking about other martial arts styles?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll start with the most bullshit. I think probably Tai Chi takes it.
I would agree with you on that one for sure. And why would you say that Tai Chi is complete bullshit?
Well, there's a variety of reasons. I mean, unless you're getting into a fight with a snail or a sloth, you're going to be moving because that's how they move. Whenever you see Tai Chi, it's just.
I did Tai Chi with my grandmother at 6.
That's what I'm saying is that if it is generally, I do tend to say that Tai Chi is a martial art specifically designed for sissies and old people. And I once saw a Tai Chi instructor get beat up by a mime. So, choked him with an imaginary rope and then threw him into an invisible wall. So I think that it is it's one of the worst martial arts out there. So I don't recommend that one. The one that I would say has some redeeming qualities, but it's still bullshit. It's just less bullshit than some of the other ones is Krav Maga.
Okay.
Because they do some groin strikes.
Yes.
They do some groin strikes. They do some eye gouging. But my biggest problem with Krav Maga is the fact that anybody charges for it because the curriculum is about this long. I'm going to teach you all of Krav Maga right now. Okay. Everything Krav Maga has to offer. Okay. Here's what they do. Palm strike, eye gouge, throat rip, knee. There, you just learned Krav Maga. That's every single thing they have to teach. So I don't know how they keep charging people month after month to do 4 moves.
I actually train very lightly. I consider myself what is a casual white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, aside from it being professional hugging, there's the gi stuff that I have a huge problem with because not everybody's going to be wearing a gi.
Yes.
So you can't become really dependent on things, being able to grab hold of a gi or a belt or something like that. And if you do, there's a lot of posturing. They spend a lot of time, trying to figure out the right way to grab. Whereas if I did encounter somebody with a gi, the easiest way to deal with them is just. So it's a lot of a waste of time. The jiu-jitsu fights last way too long. There's a lot of, you see people on the ground trying to choke each other for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it sometimes can reach to a point where you are 15 minutes on the ground just doing nothing. And I do love it, and it's a great martial art. I will recommend that to anybody. But I also will recommend the great Ameridote to anybody as well, because it's just fantastic. Tim, yes?
Yeah, just real quick, Master Ken, I have buddies that are black belts in judo, and one of them is a pro MMA fighter, and he told us a story about when he has a personal vendetta against the guy he fought because he talked shit about judo. So what do you think about judo, Master Ken?
I think it's really a throwaway martial art. I think that's it's something that is too dependent on throwing and not enough striking. And it's too tiring too. You ever lift anybody up and throw them down? Sometimes you got to do that 20 or 30 times before they don't want to fight anymore. So I just think if you're going to get that close, if I'm close enough to do a hip throw, I'm close enough to grab a groin.
Yes,
that's a good point. That's a solid point.
So if you're going to throw somebody, grab them right by the groin, then throw them, lift them up by their groin. Okay, just lift them all the way up by the groin, and then dump them on the head.
I love it.
If you're not doing that, then there's no reason to be throwing anybody.
That is so much more efficient. I got to tell my friends that their martial art is bullshit. All right.
Yeah, let them know.
Okay.
It's all anything but Ameridote, and anything after Ameridote, ladies and gentlemen, is just complete bullshit. And the man to always tell you that is the man who is known as Master Ken. Master Ken, we are going to end the episode. We appreciate you having the time to be on with us, and we would love to have you down the future. I'm going to put the camera on you, my friend, and give every kind of plug you need, and we will go and And we appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And just Google Master Ken. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'm very famous.
And always go check out Enter the Dojo Show. All 4 seasons are available on YouTube. The Tao of Master Ken available on Amazon.com. Go enlighten yourself with one of our greatest martial artists of all time to ever walk this planet, Master Ken. Master Ken, thank you very much for being on the Bro Plata Show.
Remember, always restop the grind.
Absolutely.
Yes,
sir.
sir.